Hello, beautiful. If no one told you that you were beautiful today, let me be the first. I am so happy to be here, guys. So happy to be here with you. Give me 1 second. Okay, I am back. Okay. So you are beautiful because I told you so. So like I said, I'm always going to let you know how beautiful you are, no matter what. You are listening today to the Estrogen Chronicles, Her Plate, Her Power, and I'm your host, functional nutritionist Gail Thorpe. So what I want you to do is grab your pen and your paper and your tea and coffee, and let's get into it. Okay, guys, today we are going to talk about PMS. Ooh, PMS. What that does to us every single month, okay? But believe it or not, there are things that we can do. And like I said, what do we do here? We take back the power of our plate to become healthier as women. So with PMS, that's something, of course, is a group of physical, emotional, and behavioral symptoms, okay? These symptoms normally occur 1 to 2 weeks before your menstruation. And it actually affects about 75% of menstruating women at some point in their lives. Okay. And I know you guys know what that's like because we all have that problem. And let's talk about what we can do about the problem. So with PMS, some of the common symptoms that we may have, and we come across some emotional type of things, right? Some alarming mood-related type of situations. So it can be anywhere from, irritability or anger. It can be anxiety or depression. It can be mood swings, crying spells. Have you ever had that? Sometimes you just feel like crying. You don't even know why. Right around that time. And you just start crying, and this is what's causing it. You can have sleep disturbances. So this is covering a lot of what happens emotionally during the time of your PMS. And again, these symptoms happen 1 to 2 weeks before your menstruation. I'm sorry, guys. My voice, I'm losing it a little bit today. It's not because I'm not feeling well, but I just been having a little cough. So excuse me if I happen to break up a little bit there. The other thing is physical. So you have things like bloating, breast tenderness, you have fatigue, you have headaches, cramps. Oh my God, the cramps. Come on. Why do we have to have those things, right? Cramps and joint or muscle pain. So these are some of the physical symptoms that you may have with your PMS. We also have behavioral. So if you notice around that time of the month, we always have food cravings. Especially we want that sweet and salty combination, right? And I know you know what I'm talking about. You want that piece of cake and you want those bag of chips at the same time. And I know that's true. We all experience it. Just give me 1 second. I just want to take a little bit of water here because my voice is starting to fade out. Just give me one moment, guys. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, I am back. Just been struggling with my voice today for some reason. Okay, so we have that cake and the potato chips at the same time, and then poor concentration. We also deal with we actually start to withdraw. We withdraw from going to activities. So usually when we have our menstruation, our period, we don't want to go out. We don't want to go out to dinner. We don't want to go out with our friends because a lot of times we are dealing with the fact of a heavy period flow, or we're dealing with the fact of the symptoms that I just talked about. And then, of course, if we're cramping, like most of us do, we just want to be in bed with a heating pad, right? And I know I'm not the only one. Okay. So there are some things that we can actually do to help to prevent or even reduce some of those symptoms that I talked about. We can definitely track our cycle. So we can use a period tracking app. They have a lot of those on the App Store. And a good old fashioned way is just using your calendar. So each month that you get your period, you can write the symptoms that you're having 1 to 2 weeks before the onset of your period, and then symptoms during your period, and then the dates. This way you can keep track if you have to go to the doctor because something more is happening to you, at least you have something to pinpoint. Stress. We have to reduce our stress, ladies. And I'm going to be talking about stress soon because that's something that we all have and we need to get a hold of it. So we need to incorporate things to help to reduce the stress. So things like journaling, meditation, deep breathing. Okay? We need to do that because stress plays a big role with our hormones and it can definitely cause it to be off balance. So we need to also try our best to get that sleep in. So if we can aim for at least 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep nightly, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. And we want to hydrate. So we want to make sure we drink plenty of water to combat any type of bloating or fatigue. Because if you drink at least 8 to 10 glasses of water a day, that can help with any type of bloating that you may have and fatigue. Now, excuse me, sometimes we may need a little help. So we may need some supplements to help in our journey when we deal with our PMS, okay? So for instance, magnesium. That helps with cramps and irritability and bloating, okay? Vitamin B6. This helps to support your mood balance. And then calcium. This helps to reduce fatigue, cravings, and mood swings. And we talked a little bit about this last week when we talked about going through menopause, and that is chasteberry, Vitex. That can help with breast tenderness and hormone balance. Okay? So make sure you write these things down, ladies, because these are important. Now, we want to talk about some of the good foods that we want to eat during the PMS time. Now, you've heard me mention a lot of these foods before. So I'm mentioning again, okay, because these foods are important to help to balance our hormones, to help us to feel better, and provide the nutrients that we need. So again, we want to take a look at the leafy greens like spinach or kale. Excuse me. We want to take a look at fatty fish like salmon and sardines. We want to take a look at flax seeds and chia seeds. That helps to provide the omega-3s and fibers that we need. And we want to look at whole grains, so quinoa, oats, brown rice, and then berries. Berries is rich in what? You should know this by now. Antioxidants. And we need those for cellular health. We want to look at avocados. That's for healthy fats. And that actually helps to support hormone balance and hormone production. And bananas. Bananas actually helps to boost our serotonin, which helps to reduce the cramping. Bananas. Something as simple as bananas. Okay? And nuts, especially almonds and walnuts, those are magnesium rich, and we need those things to help us during that time. But just as quickly as we're talking about foods that we should incorporate, we also want to talk about foods that we want to eliminate. And just give me just another moment, guys, because I want to take a little swag of water for this. Like I said, I'm having a little voice is breaking up a little bit. I think I'm talking a lot. So 1 second. Okay, I am back. So some of the foods that we want to take a look at, that we want to avoid. Once again, sugar. The sugar causes blood sugar spikes, and it also crashes our mood. Sugar's just not good for us, period. Okay? As women especially. So we definitely want to monitor how much sugar we're taking in every day. Caffeine, that actually worsens our irritability and it causes more of a breast tenderness. Okay? Alcohol. This affects our mood and our sleep, and it increases inflammation. So high sodium foods, this contributes to bloating and water retention. So here's the thing. I mentioned just a few moments ago about drinking more water, but here it is. If you're drinking water and you're eating 2 or 3 bags of potato chips, that's not going to help you. That's not going to work. That's going to increase the bloating. Okay? It's definitely going to give you water retention. So when you're increasing the fluids of water, you have to decrease the sodium. So high sodium foods, not good. And then red meat and processed meats, okay? This increases our inflammation in our body. And that's due to the saturated fats that's in those foods. So inflammation is something that is not good for us, right? And it's definitely going to help to contribute to the cramping. So we want to reduce the inflammation in our body. And again, we can do that through the foods that we're eating. Okay. So oftentimes when we are going through our PMS, should we exercise? Should we not exercise? So we just lay in bed and stay with our heating pad? Yes and no. Okay. What we should do is we should do moderate to consistent activity. This will help to actually reduce symptoms by balancing your hormones and improving your mood. So you want to do things like light things, like a little bit of walking or light jogging. You can do yoga or Pilates. This actually helps to reduce tension and cramps. You could do a little light dancing, some swimming, right? You want to do low impact strength training as well. We want to do light things, nothing heavy, nothing to take you out of your space, take you out of, the feeling that you're dealing with at that time. Okay? So you want to definitely make sure you avoid overly intensive workouts during your PMS because you already are drained. You don't want to make your body worse. So the goal is definitely to be careful and not overexert yourself with exercise. That's what I would definitely say because your body knows. And if it wants to rest during that time, let it rest. So some of the things that we talked about in foods, for instance, we talked about spinach for leafy greens. And why that helps is because spinach actually has a good amount of magnesium and iron. And so the magnesium actually helps to reduce cramps and the irritability that you have and bloating. And then the iron helps to combat fatigue, and that's due to blood loss. A lot of times if we have very heavy periods, we tend to be a little anemic or a lot of anemic. So we want to include that into our diet. Excuse me. And then banana. Banana, as we talked about, that has the B6 in there and the potassium. So the B6 supports serotonin, which is your mood. It also has the potassium, which helps to reduce water retention and bloating. And then we have avocado. That's a healthy fat. It also has some B vitamin in there as well. The fat actually helps to support hormone production. And the B vitamins help to reduce mood swings and fatigue. Okay. So we also have the ground flax seeds, which provides our omega-3s and our lignans. And the omega-3 actually helps to reduce inflammation and cramps. Okay. And the lignans support estrogen balance. You see how important food is for you? It's so important. And then we have the berries we talked about. Excuse me. That is dealing with the antioxidants and vitamin C. So that helps to fight inflammation. It improves your skin. Because sometimes what happens is when we're having our PMS time, we might even break out. So this will help that. It also helps to reduce oxidative stress because that's what antioxidants do. It helps with our cells. And the KCL powder that provides magnesium and iron. That's a natural mood booster. It has magnesium to help to relieve muscle tension and improve your sleep. Okay? So, again, these things are important for us, and we must take a look at it. And we also, when we talked about the calcium, excuse me, guys, again, I'm so sorry, my voice is kind of breaking up here a little bit. We can get calcium from almond milk, especially if it's fortified. And the calcium actually helps to reduce mood swings, fatigue, and our cravings. Woohoo! Because we surely get those cravings during that time. And protein powder, which helps with our amino acids. And that's, our amino acids are pretty much the building block of our bodies. Okay? So this helps to keep the blood sugar balance stable. It actually helps to curb your appetite and your cravings. And it supports your neurotransmitter production like your serotonin. Okay. So these things, again, like I said, we must take a look at our diet. I can always tell when clients come to me what's happening based upon what they're eating. I can always tell. Okay, guys, so let's move it forward. So we talked about the exercise. We talked about the foods that we should eat and foods that we should stay away from. Okay? But sometimes when we're having PMS, it can get out of hand. Some women do have pretty bad periods. They may have it very, very heavy flow. It's irregular. Sometimes their mood swings are a little bit more than normal. And sometimes you need to seek a doctor's attention, especially if your symptoms start to interfere with your daily life, like you miss work, school, or important activities due to your PMS. And like I mentioned, you're feeling emotionally overwhelmed or just maybe unable to cope. You may have mood symptoms that are severe. You may experience intense depression, anxiety, rage, or hopelessness feeling. Sometimes you can even have thoughts of self-harm. And unfortunately, suicidal thoughts can happen too. Because remember, when we're going through our PMS, it's our hormones that are kind of just all over the place. So all of these things can come to your mind, okay? And sometimes these symptoms can last longer than the 2 weeks because remember I said the PMS comes about 1 to 2 weeks before the onset of your period. And it normally will stop once your period starts. But if your symptoms are continuing in the form that I mentioned, then you may need to see medical attention. Because this could be involving maybe you're having thyroid problems, maybe you're having a hormonal imbalance that needs more attention, or you may have an anxiety disorder, okay? So sometimes it doesn't hurt to seek that. You need a little bit of Eastern medicine, a little bit of Western medicine sometimes. Okay? So, and by the way, you might have tried some of the things that I talked about with the foods and everything, but you still were suffering. You still are suffering. And that's why I said you definitely have to seek attention. Okay. And you also want to be aware too of your periods, because like I mentioned too, you can have it much heavier, or much lighter. You may even have new or severe pain, and it could be missed periods without a pregnancy present. And sometimes that could be a sign of either fibroids or endometriosis. So, your doctor will order some blood work so that he can be able to see what's happening. And he's going to want to check your hormones. He's going to want to check your thyroid. He's going to want to see if you have any type of nutritional deficiencies. Now, I'll be very honest with you. As a functional nutritionist, I have the capabilities of testing when it comes down to nutritional deficiencies, all of the minerals in the supplement and vitamins, as well as amino acids. But the doctors tend to just focus on like maybe B12 and D3, maybe folate. And those are important. No, I'm not going to say they're not. However, you could be deficient in other vitamins, other minerals, and you're not going to know that. But you can know if you go to someone like myself, because I am able to offer the complete nutritional deficiencies. Okay. The doctor may want to put you on maybe birth control pills to help to regulate your hormones, or antidepressants if you're not, mentally not feeling that well, and lifestyle changes. So I like to tell you when we're talking and discussing about our health, I like to tell you what are some of the things when it's time to see a doctor's attention, and some of the things that he may want to do with you. Okay. But I also am a component of definitely telling you about natural things. So this way you're not surprised. You're not surprised if you have to go to the doctor because the symptoms are well past what it should be, or you can maintain yourself just naturally. So this way you, like I said, no surprises here. Okay. So I hope you're taking all this in and writing all this down. It's so, so important, because you want to be able to look for those different things that I'm telling you about. Okay. Now we have come to that moment of the gift that I give every week. And the reason, again, why I give a gift, because I normally give gifts to my clients that come to me. But since we're not able to do that here in this setting, I want you to be able to start right away. So based upon the things that I'm talking about, I want you to be able to start a smoothie or a juice or both. So this way you can get going, and you will know why that smoothie or juice is working, because we already talked about it. Okay, now I hope you got your pen and paper still in hand. And we're going to do a smoothie this week. This is going to be our PMS hormone balancing smoothie. So we want to do 1 cup of spinach, which has the magnesium and iron that we talked about. You want to do a frozen banana for potassium and B6, and a half avocado. That's our healthy fats. We're going to do 1 tablespoon of ground flax seeds for the omega-3, and the half cup of frozen berries for our antioxidants. 1 teaspoon of caseo powder, which has the magnesium and its moon boost. And then we're going to do 1 cup of unsweetened almond milk. This is optional, but I would include it. I would do 1 scoop of plant-based protein. So we're going to blend all of those ingredients until it's smooth. And we're going to drink this PMS, a smoothie recipe, right within the 2-week period time. So before we get our period. Okay? So remember, 1 to 2 weeks before we want to do this for prevention. Okay? Now, why does this help? Why does a smoothie help? So once again, this smoothie is going to provide you hormone support. We know that the healthy fats and the flax seeds help to regulate our estrogen and our progesterone levels. We know for mood stability, B6, magnesium, and protein aid in serotonin production. And for cramps and bloating relief, the magnesium and the potassium relaxes the muscles and reduces fluid retention. And for energy and focus, iron-rich ingredients, and it actually helps to support the natural carbs to support the energy that you need. And for craving control, yes, remember that piece of cake and the potato chips, the salty chips. So for that craving control, that protein and then the fiber and the healthy fats actually will help to make you feel full and curb your sugar cravings. Okay. All right, guys. So this is something that I feel you can do. It's not hard. I try not to give you anything hard, but I do like to leave you with a little homework so that you can take your smoothie or take your juice and begin right away. So again, to kind of recap, we talked today about PMS. We talked about what is PMS. We talked about the foods that we need to include in our diets, the food that we need to definitely exclude or limit. We talked about when our symptoms are a little past more than it should be because of PMS. Remember, it normally happens 1 to 2 weeks before the onset of your period, and then it stops when your period comes. But if it still lingers on like 2, 3, 4 weeks or more after, then we need to pay a closer attention to what's going on, what our bodies are telling us. We talked about what the doctors are going to look for, some testing that they're going to do, and some things that they will give you. We also talked about some supplements that you can take for PMS to help with the mood, to help with your energy and your focus. So I think we pretty much covered the gamut of our PMS, which is a natural thing that we as women experience every single month until we go into menopause. Like we talked about last week. Okay. All right, guys. Well, as usual, this has been awesome. I love talking to you guys. And again, thank you for bearing with my voice. I think I've been talking too much. And I've been losing my voice a little bit today. But I'm drinking my water, keeping hydrated like I mentioned to you. So you get it, right? And until next time, I thank you again. And if you guys are looking for an opportunity to work with someone like me, which would be me, and where you can actually get a customized program for the PMS that's going to be for you and only you, okay? A meal plan that's going to help you to know what foods to eat, what are good recipes that you can make that's going to be based upon results and testing, specialized testing that I can do, from genetic testing into prevention testing. And to have an accountability partner, someone that's going to work with you the whole way through. I invite you to go to my website at www.nutritionudesign.com. Book an appointment with me, and we can get started right away. In this day and age, it's about prevention. And if we have symptoms, we want to make sure and get ourselves healthy so we can get rid of those symptoms. Okay? And as you also know, I always say, wellness is not just a journey, it's a lifestyle. It really is a lifestyle. We don't want to feel hopeless, guys, because there's always something out there when it comes to food to help us to eradicate or prevent a lot of the problems that we as women experience. So with that being said, I hope you have a great, fantastic rest of the week. Enjoy this podcast. If you miss anything, listen to it again. And be sure to share the podcast. And if you like what you're hearing, definitely leave me some feedback. Have a great rest of your week. Don't stress yourself out too much and enjoy yourself. Thanks for listening, guys. Until next time, I will see you soon.